Did I go with that?
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome here to Bedford. Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. It's FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Over the next hour and a half, another jam-packed show as we preview week number 2 in the NHIAA lacrosse world. We'll begin with opening statements, taking a look at the standings, and all that good stuff here over the next 15 or 20 minutes. Then we welcome in the first of 4 guests. Drew Bordeaux, a Bedford hire that a lot of people seem to have liked. He's got the Bulldogs off to an unbeaten start, and the first-year head man will join us at 6:20. 6:40, second-year head coach Matt Brewster from Exeter will join us from the bus. The Blue Hawks are in action right now at Dover, and Coach will speak with us after the game. Of course, Bedford at Exeter is our game of the week tomorrow night at 6:30. Hour number 2, we chat with now 3-year starter for Bishop Girton, Zach Connerty. The senior goaltender is on his way to VMI, and we'll visit with him for the first time at 7 o'clock. And rounding out the show is Eva Dimatteus, the Goffstown junior, already committed to UNH and making some noise already with the Grizzlies. Coach, how are you?
Good, Nick.
Good to have the first 2 under the belt.
Great first week, yeah.
Your team 2-0.
2-0. First time ever I've had a triple overtime game versus Hingham. It was a very high-level lacrosse game. We didn't play our best, but Hingham was a team that was very well coached, didn't make mistakes. They played zone, so it slowed the game down a lot. And that was we like the games to be up 14, 15, 16, 17, and 9-8 was kind of where they wanted it. But we won the face-offs. Paulo Vasquez, he went 70% on the day, but he won all 3 face-offs in each overtime. He won it, but we never scored on the first. Did not score in the first possession each time. So every time in the overtime, usually that happens. The first team that wins the face-off wins, in an overtime game. But Timmy Kiley wound up getting the game winner. Strong performance from him. Aiden Lorendo had 2 goals, 2 assists. Connor Bouvier had 2 goals and an assist, and then Connor Gabord was our best all-around player. And then we had 2 shutdown defensive performances from Colin Rourke and Dylan Young. So it was a good game. And then we moved on Friday to the Manchester Kings. And I got to tell you, I could not have been more impressed with their program. They had 50 kids out for the program. Can you help me with the pronunciation? Coach D'Onofrio? D'Onofrio. Coach D'Onofrio. So, Coach, he had his guys not only organized, but playing with energy, playing with passion. They were having fun. They were hyping it up on the sideline, and they played with like a skill level. Their skill level has room for improvement, but they were organized and they played hard. They played tough. They played clean, and that program. It's a great thing to have all those teams. We played at Memorial, and it was great. I mean, I can't say enough good things about Coach and his program. He had some alums back too to help coach Marcus Sutton.
And again, the Manchester Kings, for those who don't know, a combination of players from Manchester Central, Manchester West, and Manchester Memorial.
Yes, and I'm gonna have to look up on my phone because after the game. I texted Coach Sutton, who's been a long-time Tomahawk player and coach, and then he's the assistant coach, the goalie coach for them. And their goalie against Pinkerton had 32 saves. Against us, he had 25.
Wow.
And he's going to Curry College to play football. So I reached out to Coach Sutton. I said, hey, does he want to play college lacrosse? I mean, we could find a home for him. So I'm going to get his name because he certainly deserves his name. But, I mean, just incredible the amount of saves that he's making. I will come up with his name in a second, but it was great performance by Manchester overall. As far as the landscape of D1, well, we'll touch on D2 as we opening show. It's Derryfield and Portsmouth. Derryfield might be a tick above Portsmouth right now, and then it's everybody else. But before everybody else, it's Winnicott and Timberlane. They seem to be. Timberlane and St. Thomas seem to be the teams that can give. If anybody's going to give Portsmouth and Derryfield a game, it's going to be those guys.
Yeah. For D1, just to check on the standings, we mentioned Bedford also undefeated at 2-0, Exeter 2-0. Those 2 again square off tomorrow night here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. The other team that had an undefeated week, Coach Miller's Merrimack Tomahawks, 2-0 with 2 impressive victories based on the final scores. Player.
They did not give up a lot of goals. I mean, Brian Miller was a defensive player. He's a defensive coach. That's where he specializes. He played it at Hartford. and he's got them playing some D. They did play South. South is a work in progress right now with Coach Delanoy. As we said, they got a great goalie in Jacob Lynn. They're having a tough time scoring goals. But Coach Wiedenfeld, shout out to two coaches. Coach Bordeaux got his first win at Bedford and then win over Concord. Coach Wiedenfeld got his first win this week. He played Exeter relatively tough. I mean, they wound up winning 17-11. As we said, they're going to get better as the season goes on. He lost a tight one to Central Catholic, 11-9. So there, Concord, they looked a little bit young against Bedford. They were overmatched.
Tough week for the schedule for them to open up against both Bedford and Exeter.
Yes, and then so Pinkerton handled Manchester Kings, handled Salem, and then an 11-9 game against Falmouth. So
that's one of Maine's better teams.
Yes,
right?
So they challenged themselves there. So you're seeing like BG, Exeter, Pinkerton, and then Bedford seems like they're there. But, Londonderry is probably closing that gap a little closer than earlier than we might have expected. But did they have enough? He went with Coach Wiedenfeld with a small roster. It looked like maybe 22, 23 players total. And then, tomorrow, the Bedford at Exeter, which is
really the season's first measuring stick game, so to speak, within Division I.
Yes. You're going to see – talking to the director, Ben Beals, he got to see both Bedford and Exeter play. I saw a little bit of the Exeter Londonderry game on a stream, which was a little bit tough to watch, so I didn't watch for that long. But Bedford can play defense. They have guys. Coach Bordeaux, he's a defensive guy. I mean, they're playing with energy, and they're not giving up a lot of goals. I mean, they handled Dover after they handled Concord, and I think they gave up 2 goals in each game. So, I mean, they can play defense. The question for them is, can they score enough against a high-powered Exeter team? Because Exeter is more balanced. They have guys that can – they got Will McElroy facing off. They're great in the goal with Burnage or Tapman, whoever they go with. But then they got, as Lechner, who we had on as their star of the week, had 8 goals versus Londonderry in the first game.
Wow. Part of a 17-11 win on opening night for Exeter. And by the way, once again, Bedford at Exeter tomorrow night at 6:30 here on Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire. Coach, in Division II, you alluded to it briefly, but a big week for Ken Blaska's Timberlane Owls as they get it done on back-to-back games, the first 2 games of the season, and then they round out the week with yet another victory. So 3-0 for the Owls as I hunt down their schedule here. They beat D1 Nashua North, as we know, on opening day, 18-3. Followed that up with a road win over Spalding, 18-1, and then no problem with Hillsborough Deering, John Stark. It seems like Timberlane has continued to move the ball forward from the previous couple of seasons where they've made a D2 championship appearance in 2021 and a deep push last year as well. They seem poised to again make a deep run here in 23.
Yeah, he's built the program where he's got a youth program, got a feeder program, and he's a great coach. The other 3 teams that we can mention in that mix that are Coach Dom St. Laurent's Hollis Brookline team. They started out 2-0.
Yep.
Alvern 2-0 as well. 2 Division I wins, and then they lost a tight one, 8-7 to Merrimack Valley.
Yeah, so they're 2-1. Yeah,
they're 2-1, but 2. I mean, that's a
2 impressive wins. Yeah,
very good wins, and then Coach Sean Gill at Merrimack Valley doing a great job knocking off Merrimack Valley 8-7. I'm sorry, knocking off Alvern 8-7. So those are the teams to watch in that division. I have not followed. I do know that Coach Tony DePalma's Co-Brown Bears upset Hopkinton. In a 1-goal win
in Division III.
So that's that division we're not sure about yet. The other team in Division II is Wyndham. Wyndham seems like they're out to a strong start.
Yeah, they're 2-0. St. Thomas 2-0. Alvord 2-1, as you mentioned, and of course the 2 traditional powers, Portsmouth and Derryfield, are both 2-0 as well. Coach, on the girls' side, a scheduling note, as we know, Portsmouth and Bishop Girton, 2 of the best teams in Division I. Their game has been rescheduled to 6 o'clock tomorrow at Stello Stadium. Portsmouth, they won their season opener, and of course BG unbeaten as well. And as you've previously pointed out, it seems like kind of a three-team race in Division I on the girls' side with those two teams plus Bedford. So, again, another measuring stick game early in the season coming week 2 tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, so Portsmouth first game when we were on the air last week, they slow start against Pinkerton, but they figured out their zone and wound up winning 18-5. BG, the defending champion, that game was set for Thursday. It would have been interesting because that was the day it was 90-plus degrees, but the game got rescheduled, playing it tomorrow at Stellos. We play Salem at 4, so we're going to stick around and watch that game. That's going to be, as you said, measuring stick, but just high-level lacrosse. It's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, it should be pretty good weather tomorrow.
Should be good weather.
Got the rain out of the way today.
2 high-level teams, and the other team in there is Bedford. They've taken care of business, and you could
3-0.
3-0, yeah. So they're.
And South, 3-0.
South is
as
a team.
well. We
South
should touch
might be
on
that 4th team because Londonderry, they seem like they're, with Coach Durhack, I think they're moving in the right direction. Exeter's close, but I do think that South is impressive. I mean, the team that could get that 4th team, but South, Pinkerton, Londonderry, Exeter might be missing someone, but they seem like the teams. And
then in Girls Division II, we'll talk again with Goffstown Junior Eva Dimatteus coming up at 7:15. How does Goffstown look here early on, Coach, and where do they fit in?
Well, we only got the one score. They have a great coach and Coach Marissa. Just a lot of high energy, high knowledge. So you're seeing they put in the work in the off season, and I think they're a team that could be in the mix. They're certainly getting better, but you have some really good teams in that division too with Hollis, Brookline, and Wyndham. But Goffstown's a team that's knocking on the door. So we'll find out from Eva. They had a second game, which the score is not listed yet, so we have to ask. I think it might have been against Exeter, but they did have an impressive. They might have played up a division in a non-league game.
Challenging themselves
early
on.
Yes.
All right. We'll take a break, come back on the other side with Drew Bordeaux, former St. Anselm standout, now first-year head coach with the Bedford Bulldogs on the boys' side, leading his boys into battle tomorrow night at Exeter. You are watching FNL Lacrosse. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And do you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
Buy local and save big. For over 26 years, Spectrum Monthly has been providing great local offers from businesses in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, delivered to your mailbox every month. Spectrum is chock full of savings from your favorite businesses. From local restaurants and retail stores to entertainment, fitness, and home improvement services. You'll have easy access to thousands of dollars in savings, including exclusive offers for Spectrum readers. Every month, enter our readership contest for a chance at winning cash and local gift certificates. Spectrum Monthly, no one brings you better offers.
Back here on FNL Lacrosse, Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. We've got Bedford and Exeter tomorrow night in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. That gets underway at 6:30 Eastern. Two of the best teams in Division I putting their undefeated early season records on the line. We'll speak with Drew Bordeaux of Bedford in just a moment. Matt Brewster of Exeter coming up at 6:40. Hour number 2, we switch gears and hear from the players themselves. Zach Connerty, BG Senior, on his way to VMI as our Tomahawks Player of the Week on the boys' side, and Eva Dimatteus of Goffstown is our girls' Player of the Week, and she joins us at 7:15. Right now, first-year head coach from Bedford, Drew Bordeaux, joins us as our first guest. Drew, good evening, sir. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me. I got to say before we start, Nick, huge fan of yours, man. I mean, unbelievable the stuff you do. Football, basketball, lacrosse, St. A's, the broadcasting, I mean, everything. So I can't get enough to do fantastic work.
I appreciate that. Might have to cut that and use it in the promo somehow. Appreciate that, Coach. Take us back to a couple months ago, I guess, to the start of when you got hired. And how exactly did that go down? And I guess we'll get to the group you've got on your hands in a moment, but take us through the hiring process and how you ended up on the Bedford sidelines.
Sure. So, I'm a math teacher at Bedford High School. And last year I was on as an assistant. And towards the end of the season last year, Matt Johansmeyer kind of pulled me and Matt Howe, my assistant coach, aside and just said, hey, I don't know what the offseason looks like, but there could be a chance that I'm not back. And then in September, he let us know that he was going to step down, so the job would be open. I applied for it. Felt like an eternity by the time I finally got hired, but ended up getting hired in November and just hit the ground running from there.
And from what I understand, you've got a pretty good working relationship, right, with Coach Howe. You two have become familiar and have developed a little bit of a chemistry there. Tell us about him and the rest of the staff around the team.
Yeah, so the history with Coach Howe is this. My freshman year at St. A's, he was supposed to transfer to St. A's, and he left me hanging. So he's owed me one since then, but he had a fantastic career at Keene State. But there was just not another guy that I could think of that would be more perfect to do this with. He's just done absolutely unbelievable job with the offense. Him being a goalie, he just has such a high IQ for both sides of the ball because he had to see both sides and command a defense. But he's just been doing an incredible job. The guys absolutely love him. He's able to relate super well to them, and his IQ for the game is super high. And then also on staff with us is Ryan McDonough. He graduated from St. A's just this past year. Didn't play lacrosse, but he had a great career at Tingsboro High School. He's running our JV team. Again, the guys just absolutely love him. Young energy. I'm actually the oldest guy on the staff, believe it or not. So he's full of energy. And the best thing about Ryan is he is so coachable as a coach. Matt and I, with college experience, came in with some stuff that he wasn't familiar with, and he's just been able to pick it up like this and helps me run the box and has just been doing a fantastic job.
Well, that leads me into my next question a bit is how have you been able to take some of the knowledge from the NCAA level and apply it year one really right away at the high school level? Has that been a challenge, a benefit? How has that worked out so far?
It's been a huge benefit. The guys at Bedford, they're just super smart, and those kids really want to learn. It's like nothing I've seen before. I've been a coach at a couple of different high schools, and these kids just want to learn and want to get better and want to win. And their ability to learn is super high. And so we've been just wanting to do some things in the substitution game that I learned at St. A's and have learned through coaching Tomahawks with Coach Cameron. And so they've been able to pick up on it super fast. And then the other thing that's been, humbling for me too is just because I know all these great things, sometimes they're too advanced for the guys. And so for me to be able to take a step back and say, all right, why don't we just make this a little bit more simple and have that conversation with those guys of, hey, this is what I want to try and implement. How do we feel about this? And being able to have that back and forth conversation with those guys. But really anything that I've put in, I've set the bar here, and these guys have just exceeded it throughout the entire preseason and through the season so far.
All right, Drew, thanks for coming on. Were you able to meet Teresa Burnley at the wedding this weekend?
I did. We had a long conversation, yep.
Yeah, so Drew was at a wedding. Long story short, Teresa Burnley had three boys, three all-time great Tomahawk players. Two of them played at Dartmouth, and then one at Baird. And she was all excited to meet you. So she heard good things about you. So Coach, coming into the game, how, you're, as you said, you're the oldest guy on your staff. I am the oldest guy on my staff as well. Do you bring a lot of the nuances of the college game of film to your team? And are you scouting? How familiar are you with Exeter? Obviously, you know Gavin Lechner because you're coaching this summer. And what do you know about them coming into the game?
Yeah, so, I just love the way Matt Brewster's been running the program, just the stuff that they do in transition. It's hard to stop, and it's hard to prepare for. And then the toughest thing about them is, I watch a lot of film, but they don't really have a lot of patterns, right? So, offensively, they just do a lot of freelance and play pretty free. And so we can see some tendencies and have some rules for those tendencies, but we just got to know personnel, right? We got to know that there's only one lefty or only one righty rather on the field. And so, use those type of things. And obviously, super excited to play against Gavin. Just had a ball coaching him this summer. He's just a fantastic player. And we're gonna stick Kevin Sheridan on him. And I'm just super excited for that matchup because it's just two heavyweights going at it. And so I'm really excited for that. And then, I love how they're running Owen Williams out of the midfield. It just creates, can create a nightmare matchup, right? Because he's an attackman. He's playing at the midfield position. So just super excited for the game.
Appreciate you giving up that matchup. A lot of coaches are quiet for that. I was expecting that matchup too. You have polls for days. So, you haven't given up many goals. So the question to me is, I think you're going to be able to, you're going to slow them down because you guys are so strong defensively. Is where the goal's going to come from. I mean, are you guys going to play fast? Are you going to try to play? And the opposite is in effect where you have a lot of righties on the field. They have all the lefties. You have all the righties on the field.
Yeah. It's funny, is one of my favorite 30 for 30s is survive and advance. I look up to Jim Valvano. Love that guy. I love that guy as a coach. So my kind of plan is the same as it was when NC State played Houston. So we're going to try and win the opening faceoff and just hold the ball the whole game. We'll maybe score the first goal, and then we'll hold the ball, try and keep it in our end, make it a low-scoring game.
All right.
So take the under, I suppose. Coach, we heard Coach Cameron's preview last week kind of breaking down your roster a bit, but if you could take it a step further, what kind of a group do you have on your hands here? It seems like the defense is kind of the identity, the strength perhaps. Correct me if I'm wrong. I guess that is the question. Is this team anchored defensively and built out from there, or what kind of a roster are you and your staff dealing with here early in the season?
Yeah, so we, defensively we knew coming in it was going to be our strength. Tristan Kerr, Spencer Henderson, Kevin Sheridan, all three of those guys played big minutes last year. A lot of them started for a majority of the year, and then we returned both our LSMs, Nick Hadley and Brian Riccio. Both of them are just incredible players and can do – they're two different types of players too, so it's not like you're getting the same matchup when each of them are on the field. And then we just have a lot of very athletic defensive midfielders. Dylan Soden's been huge. He's a great football player, great basketball player. A lot of guys, a lot of people know his brother Luke Soden, but Dylan's just a fantastic athlete. And then Luke Tsai is a senior defensive midfielder who's just been, crushing it. Like the kid, just super high IQ. He's a team guy, culture guy, and has just been great on ball. He's actually an LSM last year. We converted him to a defensive midfielder. But what's been most exciting for me is the offense, because we really challenged these guys in the offseason. We had exit meetings with everyone last year, and we flat out said it. We said we didn't score goals last year, and we got everyone coming back. So we got to figure out where to score these goals from. Guys like Zach Griffin just had a fantastic offseason. He was someone who really wasn't playing a lot of lacrosse outside of lacrosse season, and he really bought into it. Ended up playing Tomahawks this summer and this fall, and then was just at the turf every day. He runs a nice landscaping company. But after work, you could find him on the field along with JJ Gaffney, another guy who, again, didn't play lacrosse outside of lacrosse. And he got on Tomahawks this fall, got on a team. And this summer, I believe, he was on 24 Gold. So he was playing a lot. And he was a guy that was on JV last year and was probably one of our best JV players. And he's just coming to this season. Again, another guy that's just been crushing it for us. And so we have a bunch of guys, Kevin Master-Lacasa, Evan Capello, a lot of guys who really bought in this offseason. You could find them at Sportsman every day, just putting in work. So we were able to return key guys like Luke Purnell, who's just an assist machine. Derek Kaliza, who was our leading point scorer last year. He's been off to a great start. And then Sean Toscano is just – talk about a leader and a guy that is a champion, right? He's won a state championship in golf and in basketball. So the guy knows how to win and the guy knows how to lead. So that's been such a pleasant surprise for us, is getting to see how those guys worked in the offseason, the success they've been having so far through these two games.
Final question, Coach. You've already given us some nuggets for tomorrow night, including tempo and the matchup to watch. What else needs to go right for your team to come away still undefeated tomorrow night when you visit Exeter?
And Coach Cameron knows this, big ground ball guy. It's going to be a huge battle. I'm excited for the battle at the face-off X as well. I know the guy from Exeter, just, again, another guy who had a fantastic offseason. That's going to be a huge matchup there. But we're all about possession extending ground balls and possession ending ground balls. So, if we take a shot and there's a save and there's a rebound, we want to come up with that ground ball. If the ball is on the turf on our defensive end, we got to be the ones to end that possession. So I think that's going to be where the game really lies right there, is who's coming up with those big ground balls when it matters most.
Nick, we do have a question from the audience.
Okay.
Talk to us about your aspiring to be a TikTok sensation.
Yeah. So, when I was growing up in high school, Vine was big. And so I never made it big with Vine. And now being a young teacher, I have TikTok and know a lot about social media. So I have an advisory that meets every day for 20 minutes. And one of the members of that advisory is Brian Riccio, who's my starting LSM. And he's been a huge help. We have, every Tuesday we'll have another one dropping tomorrow. We get it going on TikTok. So, we've gotten Brian out of his comfort zone too. The kid can dance. I'm telling you, the kid can dance. He's shy, but he's got moves. So, one of my videos, it hit like 2.6 million views. I was pretty excited about it.
Wow.
So he is a sensation.
Yeah. Wow. Putting the new culture together over there. We like
That's
that.
right.
Coach, good luck tomorrow. Thank you for your time tonight. You and I will be in the broadcaster's booth together, from what I understand, for the St. Anselm quarterfinals in a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. And
looking forward to that as well.
Once again, thanks again for joining us, and best of luck this season.
Thank you. I appreciate it, both of you.
Thank you. Coach Bordeaux, putting some dance moves together. That's going to breathe some life.
Dance moves, because I'm not a TikToker.
I'm not either, but it sounds like
2.6 million. And when he had one of his players, who he said, Brian Riccio, who was a quiet, reserved, but I guess he's getting them. He's showing some dance moves. I don't think that's the one that got 2.6 million. But
either way, it sounds like they're having fun over there.
Fun,
and
yes, that's the way.
There's kind of a renewed energy around the program itself, it seems like, which often does happen whenever there's a coaching shift at the top.
Well, Drew
right?
just brings energy to life. No matter where he's at, he brings the energy, which is what you see from this Bedford team. I mean, they're just flying around the field, having fun. And one thing with Drew that he mentioned, the Jim Valvano, the 1980, was it 84? Was that
83?
83. Yep. I coached lacrosse with basketball principles, and you see very much him. He was a basketball player at Newburyport, and he uses the same principles. So, I know they're going to be ready. They do have a lot of guys back, as he mentioned. So the stage might not be too bright for them. That's going to be the question: is are they ready? Game on FNL, on the road. How do they start out? Because they don't want to have to come from behind.
Right.
Because they're not. They want to be able to get that lead, control the pace, control the tempo. So to me, that's the biggest thing, is getting that start, getting the lead, and controlling the tempo.
That first quarter probably is
huge. Yes.
Going to be telling either
half.
way.
Yep.
Again, we're underway at 6:30 tomorrow with the opening face-off. Bedford at Exeter, our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week, presented by Beals Insurance, an early season measuring stick game in Division I. We'll get the other side of the story on the other side of the break. Matt Brewster, second-year head coach with Exeter, is next. You are watching FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
Buy local and save big. For over 26 years, Spectrum Monthly has been providing great local offers from businesses in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, delivered to your mailbox every month. Spectrum is chock full of savings from your favorite businesses. From local restaurants and retail stores to entertainment, fitness, and home improvement services. You'll have easy access to thousands of dollars in savings, including exclusive offers for Spectrum readers. Every month, enter our readership contest for a chance at winning cash and local gift certificates. Spectrum Monthly, no one brings you better offers.
It's FNL Lacrosse presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. Drew Bordeaux just joined us a few moments ago. If you missed that interview, don't worry. All of our shows are archived up under the videos section on our YouTube channel, FNLNH Media. Again, Friday Night Lights, New Hampshire, on YouTube at FNLNH Media. Hour number 2 on the way. Zach Connerty will lead it off. The senior from Bishop Girton is our New Hampshire Tomahawks Player of the Week on the boys' side. 7:15, we end the show with Eva Dimatteus of Goffstown. But joining us right now, fresh off a victory at Dover, is Exeter head coach Matt Brewster. Coach, your team now 3-0, following another double-digit victory tonight over the green wave. Congratulations, and thanks for joining us. How are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
Looks like you get back home pretty quick, right?
Yeah. We've had a little bit of busing issues trying to get drivers, so a lot of times recently we've had to drive ourselves to games. So I was able to turn the corner and get home so I could hop online for you guys.
Well, we appreciate that. Seems like everything's right on schedule, right? Back-to-back championship appearances in Division I. You're now on the short list of teams expected to challenge Bishop Girton yet again. And here you are to begin the season at 3-0 with 3 double-digit victories over Londonderry. Londonderry final was 17-6. Still a solid, impressive win. And then 18-7 over Concord. And tonight I think it was 15-3 at Dover. Is this club where you expected them to be at this point 3 games in?
Yeah, definitely. Like every season, you kind of get some new personnel, and the first couple games and scrimmages and stuff like that, trying to figure out where we can, put our guys to be most successful and get a good flow. And I think we're right there. Some things we got to work on, but that's early season. I think the boys we've got good vibes. The confidence is good, and we're just moving right into the next one. We got a big week.
Yeah, I'd say I was just looking at the schedule before you came on, and I said, boy, you guys have a pretty tough first 7 or 8 games. Moving forward, Bedford tomorrow night, Pinkerton later in the week, a couple of road games against Division II champion Portsmouth, and then you face BG in Nashua North, and then a second matchup with Bishop Girton to begin the month of May. Is this how I guess you would like to see a schedule set up, Coach? Get some of these big games kind of out of the way in the first half of the season, or would you prefer to maybe have some of the heavyweights more spread out during the course of the regular season? How do you tackle this schedule here this early in the season?
I'm excited for it. To be honest, this was something that I talked with Coach Ball about, and trying to see if we can add some out-of-state teams. I think we did really well, with our lineup, and I'm excited for it. The boys are ready. They want to play the best teams, and and that's how we're going to get better. The hard-fought battles back and forth, and that's how we're really going to see what type of team we are. So I'm excited for that. Yeah.
You lost a lot from last year, but it has not seemed to slow you guys down. It seems like this next group was ready to assume roles of leadership, etc. Did you have your eye on some of the guys, some of your returnees from last year's team as early as last June, as soon as the offseason began, or were there some guys who are now quote-unquote leaders who have kind of come to the forefront over the last 9 or 10 months during the offseason? Is this leadership group kind of, again, hand-selected, or more guys seizing an opportunity and maybe surprising you in the staff a bit?
I would say it's a little bit of both. I think everyone kind of realized, senior Gavin Lechner is going to be a leader, and he, even as a junior last year, he's obviously a really respected kid on the team, and so he was one of those guys that I really kind of, we knew was going to be one of our senior leaders and want to be one of our captains, and kind of the same thing with like Ryan Garrity. He's a big vocal guy. He was a big leader last year for us, being an upperclassman. Gabe Albert was one of the kids that really turned the corner over the off season, and he looks bigger, he looks stronger, more confident. And I think the boys, we do captains off of voting, and so the 4 kids we had, Tapman, Gabe, Lechner, and Garrity, they were all unanimous decisions. So that's good to see. Like from the kids, we want the team to be able to have respected leaders, and if they pick them, they're going to follow them. So yeah,
especially if they're unanimous, that seems to make a statement, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely.
How about yourself, Matt? Now in year number 2 as the head man. Of course, you took over for a long-time head coach Jerry Hawley before that. But how much have you learned in the last 12 months or so since the end of last season, year 1?
Yeah, definitely a lot. You got to be able to adapt. And I think that was one of the biggest things that I've been learning is, not everything is going to be, as easy as it looks. Some of the games you're going to have to make adjustments on the fly. You're going to have to change positions for some kids to see, how's that going to flow for us. So I think just being, adapting and on the fly, and, that's been the curve for me. But, my coaching staff is awesome. We've got a good thing going, and, the kids really respond to us, and I think, things are going really good for us.
Coach, thanks for coming on. Obviously, you guys are loaded again, reloaded. What do you expect, or what do you know about Bedford for the game tomorrow?
I expect Bedford to come out swinging. I watched a little bit of their game against Concord. They're a big energy group. They play fast. They play physical. And so I think, our guys got to be prepared for that. I think from the games that we've played so far, this is going to be kind of that one where we got to get up and go. I think it's a perfect situation for us being at home under the lights. We're doing a Stick It to Cancer game tomorrow, so we have a little charity event going on. Should be a good crowd. So hopefully, things go well and we stick to our game plan. We know that if we do what we need to do, then we can be successful. So we just got to take care of the little things, and I'm excited. Tomorrow's gonna be a great game.
Coach Bordeaux gave up the matchup, just so you know. I don't know if you had a chance to listen, but he said Kevin Sheridan is going to be on Lechner tomorrow. Just so you know.
Awesome. I didn't catch that, but I'll
he's got a lot of he's got polls for days there. So that to me is going to be the key to the game. Is the tempo.
Definitely. I think Gavin realizes that he's going to get the number one poll pretty much every matchup now, and so that's something that he's just kind of just dealing with. He's like, it is what it is. He's earned the respect of that, and he's fired up for it. Every single game he's going to have the number one guy. So it just kind of is what it is. So the way he plays and stuff like that, he's just going to have to keep balling. But he's got a great attitude, and he doesn't really care who's covering him. He just wants to go play, and so it's good to see.
Speaking with him last week here on this show, it seemed like he was one of those type of kids that allows a lot of that pressure to just kind of roll off his shoulders, right? I mean, he's going to lead by example, maybe a little soft-spoken, but certainly an ultra competitor when it comes down to game time. Is that about right when you talk about your senior?
Yeah, absolutely. And he doesn't have to be like the most vocal guy to get his point across. And a lot of the stuff he doesn't even have to say. He's fighting for GBs, riding hard, right, controlling the tempo and pace for us on offense. It's been a great flow. He's really stepped up, and I hadn't seen. I watched him play, and all of a sudden it seemed like he's gained like 4 inches and like 30 pounds. So he's kind of like coming into his own, which has been really great to see. So I'm just looking forward to keep watching him play and coaching him up and helping him, because he's going to play at the next level. I'm pumped for him to go to Wesleyan. So he knows that he's still got work to do. You know what I mean? He realizes that, he's a senior, but his lacrosse career is far from over. So he's working, he's grinding, he's, on the field shooting, helping out at wherever he can. He's been absolutely great.
Yeah. Coach, finally, your group looking to once again get back to the championship round and potentially meet BG there yet again. Is that the big picture here? Is that the seasonal goal for this group to get back and maybe have a chance of getting over the finish line this time?
Yeah, of course. That's the end goal, and especially for my senior core right now. That will be 3 times in a row, hopefully. But I've battled to with the schedule. We're going to be battle tested. I don't know how the seeding and stuff is going to line up. I don't assume it'll be similar to last year. So I think the boys are going to have to work. But we're just really focused on kind of playing one game at a time. And like I said, the next 2 weeks we got some legit competition, and we're fired up for that. And so we just got to stick to our game plan and believe in it and work hard. And I think the good things will come from that.
Yeah. Well, Coach, we wish you the best of luck tomorrow night. I'm sure we'll chat again between now and June the 11th. So we appreciate your time, and we'll see you on the field tomorrow.
No problem. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Matt Brewster fitting in some time, fresh off a win. Hard to believe I guess he was on the sidelines, less than an hour ago. Flies back home.
He made that turn from home from Dover.
Gets the computer going, and he's ready for us. Coach, they're 3-0. Nobody's really surprised about that. Any concerns, would you have any concerns of playing a team like Bedford on the second half of a back-to-back, given that they were in action tonight at Dover?
I give him credit for that because I just when you just pull up the schedule, I noticed that they play Portsmouth the day before they play us. So
The ultimate back-to-back.
Yeah, so they probably accommodated us, so I appreciate Coach Brewster and Coach Ball for getting that game in. You don't like to play – I mean, I play Dover, and then the next day I play St. John's Prep. So sometimes, as we talked last week, when you get those, you can't control every aspect of the schedule.
Right.
So you kind of have to deal with it to some extent. But when you have a game like 15-3, we don't know if that was 12-1 at halftime.
Right.
But the game was in control. He was probably able to play a lot of guys. It wasn't that hot out today. And he's home for the second one, which makes it a lot nicer.
Right.
So, one thing that stood out to me is that there's no – that he said – I shouldn't say stood out, but, Exeter, BG again. But, like, we could easily, with our schedule, be a 4-seed, a 3-seed.
It could be a semifinal match.
It could be a semifinal. Right. It just so happened that it went because we can't stop thinking about, we obviously gave Bedford their respect because I think they're clear in that top 4 in the mix. But Pinkerton is pretty good this year. So I think Pinkerton has tightened the gap, closed the gap on both BG and Exeter. So they're certainly in the mix, and it would have to, we could certainly see them in the semifinals. We wouldn't see them in the quarters, but I could see us seeing them in the semis because it is kind of right now it's turning into a four-horse race.
How active do you think Coach Hawley is, if at all?
He's itching to get back. Group. I still communicate with Jerry, and he misses coaching. He loved coaching. His son Connor's unfortunately had an injury this year. They miss him a lot at Clarkson because he was one of their main players, and Clarkson's very close to being like really really good, and they're knocking on the door, but. He wants to get back in at some level.
At some point.
At some point, yeah, because he wants to, his daughter's playing, and then with Connor, so he had to make a decision, a tough decision. But I think we'll see him back on the sideline somewhere soon.
All right, coming up, we've got our player interviews on the other side. In hour number 2, Zach Connerty, senior from Bishop Curtin, coming up at 7. Eva Dimatteus from Goffstown coming up at 7:15. Coach, before we bring in Zach Connerty here in a few minutes, what do you got to say about him? He's a 3-year senior, obviously, in the cage for you. Has beat out some stiff competition on his own team to earn that spot and then keep it, right? I mean, what kind of a competitor are we about to speak with here when we bring him on the show at 7?
So I think a winner. A winner. He won as a sophomore. Won the state championship as a sophomore, undefeated season.
21.
1-21, 1-22. And then this year, as you said, stiff competition. He's got it hasn't been easy for him. And we talked to the goalies. It's not one save. It's not one practice. It's not one game that's going to decide. It's a body of work. So we don't want them worrying about that. But he knows that he can't take any days off because he's got Will Murphy and Liam O'Keefe and Mike McDonough breathing down his neck. But he's a quiet leader that has the respect of his teammates. You're going to see he's very soft-spoken, but he is one of the most respectful kids I've ever had. He never questions anything. He's just a very coachable kid, and he's a pleasure to have in the program. I mean, that's the way I would describe him. And he wins. And he wins.
A winner. That's about the best compliment you can get. For sure. All right, we'll speak with Zach on the other side. You are watching FNL Lacrosse. It's presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And do you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
Buy local and save big. For over 26 years, Spectrum Monthly has been providing great local offers from businesses in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, delivered to your mailbox every month. Spectrum is chock full of savings from your favorite businesses. From local restaurants and retail stores to entertainment, fitness, and home improvement services. You'll have easy access to thousands of dollars in savings, including exclusive offers for Spectrum readers. Every month, enter our readership contest for a chance at winning cash and local gift certificates. Spectrum Monthly, no one brings you better offers.
Hour number 2 here of FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Coach Chris Cameron with you. Live here from the Beals Insurance Studios in Bedford every Monday night, 6 o'clock Eastern. We thank Coach Bordeaux of Bedford and Coach Brewster of Exeter for joining us in hour number 1. If you missed those interviews, don't worry. As soon as we're done tonight, we wrap it up and then throw it up under the video section on our YouTube channel, FNLNH Media. In about 15 minutes or so, we'll talk with Goffstown junior Eva Dimatteus, the junior and future UNH Wildcat, will join us to wrap up the show. But right now, let's welcome in our Tomahawks Player of the Week, Zach Connerty, senior goaltender for Bishop Girton, 3-year starter, and as coach said, a winner, joining us here tonight. Zach, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
We're good. Thanks for coming on. We'll get to your decision to go to VMI in a moment, but I want to go back in time a bit to your sophomore season, 2021, a crowded competition for the starting goaltender job, and you emerged victorious and have not relinquished the job since. What has been the key to not only beating the competition initially, but then being able to hold them off for 2 years to stay as the starting goaltender for the state champs?
When I was a sophomore, I felt like there was 5 of us on varsity, so I kind of just worked to be the best goalie I could, make the most saves, do the right things, especially being a young kid. It was hard with a group of older defenders. There was 2 close defenders that were seniors and an LSM and then a junior. So it was a little bit intimidating, so I just kind of focused on saving the ball and less on the communicating, I guess. And I feel like I've kind of improved in that over the past couple of years to better myself and keep that position.
Any of those kids back then kind of take you aside and offer any guidance? Any of those older upperclassmen, any of those seniors kind of take you under their wing, or did you kind of figure it out via baptism by fire, so to speak?
All the seniors were really great. I remember Matthew Craney, Aiden Ahern, and John Sullivan were super helpful with like defensive concepts. Nick Dahl too. Just they knew I definitely needed help as a younger kid, so they were happy to help me.
And what's your relationship like now with the other goaltenders behind you? Is that, I assume, friendly competition? Are you guys friends off the field? What's that dynamic like with the other goaltenders?
We're all really good friends. I mean, me and Will Murphy especially, he's one of my best friends off the field. He also wrestles, so I spend a lot of time with him. And then Liam O'Keefe I've known since I was in kindergarten, so he's one of my younger brother's best friends. So and Mike McDonough as well. I play football with him, so I'm pretty close. We're all pretty close. It's a friendly competition, pretty close-knit, I would say.
What brought you across the river to BG in the first place? You're a Hudson kid, obviously, grew up in the area. What was behind the decision to play for the Cardinals?
Well, I went to Catholic school my whole life. I went to PMA from kindergarten to 8th grade. And when I was in 8th grade, I don't think that Alvern had a lacrosse team. I think at the time, they might have had like just a JV team. So it was kind of a no-brainer to go to BG.
And you're glad he made that decision, obviously, right, Coach?
Yes. So Zach, tell us what it was like, going to PMA for 8 years. That's a long time to go anywhere, and you got to play the season opener against Hingham, the number 5 ranked team in Massachusetts. What was it like being able to play at PMA with the crowd that they had there supporting you?
It was special for sure. It was really cool to come back. I don't think I've played a game there since 8th grade. I don't think we've done any. We've practiced a couple of times for BG, but it was really special for me and a lot of the other guys too. I know the Dumonts have been there since my first year as well, and same with O'Keefe, and Aiden Lorendo was there for quite a while, and the Youngs were there for a couple of years, so it was really cool.
And this group, obviously, as you mentioned, kind of tight off the field. You are obviously busy during the off season with football and wrestling, as you mentioned, but how do you stay in lacrosse mode, I guess, year-round, so that you're ready to hit the ground running once the spring rolls around? How do you find time and the balance between all those sports that you play?
Well, Well, we do the indoor league on Sundays, so that keeps my stick in my hand at least once a week in the winter. And when I don't have practice for wrestling, I try to go to Thursday skills and drills just to get some extra work in. And basically if the weather's good and I have no practice for other sports, I'll try to go shoot with some of my friends just to get extra reps in.
He loves to take shots.
Definitely a challenge.
Your decision to go to VMI is a recent one and a good one in my opinion. I've been down there, great campus. Obviously, the Virginia Military Academy. What's next for you following graduation, and what are you looking to accomplish down there? Obviously, you're looking to keep your career going, looking to study, but what's the long-term picture, and what was behind the decision to go down there and play for VMI?
I decided to go there just because I really like the coaches and the facilities and the campus. I felt like the coaches they really cared and they really want to turn the program around and get things going in the right direction. So it was really mainly it was that. It's something I wanted to be a part of, I guess.
And I assume you'll challenge for playing time maybe right away, or what's their roster look like right now?
I believe they have 3 goalies right now. Actually 4. One's hurt. So they're dressing 3 right now. And the starter right now is a freshman. So who knows? Once I get down there, we'll see.
And how about off the field? What do you like to do with your spare time, and any idea on what you'll major in down the road at VMI?
I'm not 100% sure on my major, but probably something in business or economics. That's kind of like my main interest. And off the field, probably my favorite thing to do is probably spend time with my friends. I like skiing too. Skiing's good.
So, Zach, tell us a little bit about the military commitment at VMI while you're there and also post-graduation.
So at VMI, you don't have to be commissioned into the military, but regardless if you commission after graduation, you're going to live the same when you're at school. So I decided that I wanted to be commissioned, so that it just means that I'll get like less of tuition, and then 4 years after I'll be commissioned I get to choose the branch of the military. So I think I'm going to choose Army, but I haven't fully decided yet.
That's interesting. It's a unique, yeah. So Army, 4 years. So 4-year commitment after?
Yeah, 4 years active duty, or I believe I could do 7 years reserve, but I think I want to do the 4 years of active duty.
Yeah, they're lucky to get you. As I said, they're getting a winner.
Yeah. Well, best of luck this season, Zach. I'm sure we'll catch up at some point, and enjoy the last couple of months of being a high school student as well. Sometimes that gets lost in the shuffle. We appreciate the time tonight, and best of luck this week and the rest of the way.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. Zach Connerty, a winner, coach, and letting us know why. Seems like a very cool and collected individual, which is what you want out of your goaltender of all things.
Is that how I described him to you? You know, like he'll be very well-spoken, but soft-spoken.
You pegged him well.
So it brings it back to 2021. I didn't realize how good our defense was back then. I mean, you're talking like John Sullivan, who's starting as a freshman at Army.
And was the defensive player of the year.
He was the defensive player of the year. Aiden Ahern, who coming in had all the hype as a defensive player of the year, but he was battling through some injuries, but still had a very good senior year. Matt Cranny, who's at Merrimack. I mean, and then you had Nick Dahl, who was the fourth guy who was playing at St. Anselm. So he had a very good D in front of him. It's interesting. Sometimes you're around your players a lot, but you hear him say it. He was intimidated. And he was just focused on saving the ball,
especially as a sophomore.
Save the ball. And when people ask me, what are you looking for from your goalies? My first thing I'm looking for is a kid who can stop the ball, save the ball. Then if you could add the clearing game out of the cage, and then you could add the communication piece, then you got the full package. He worked his way up. He started, saving the ball. Then I'm going to work on out of the cage, and now he's a vocal leader. So he's doing all three right now.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that Will Murphy's one of his good friends, and you see that they all like it. That's tough because it's like when it's attack, you could play 4 with 5 attackmen. Goalies, it's tough to play, but they all do have respect for each other, and it's a battle. And they were, because Zach played the first half against Hingham, gave up 3 goals. Will Murphy comes in, not super sharp to super sharp to start because he gave up 3 quick ones.
Tough to come in the middle of the game too.
Yeah,
right?
so we got to find that balance. And then Will Murphy had a very good overtime where he made 4 saves in overtime, 4 or 5 saves in overtime. But we're facing one of the top 10 teams in the country on Saturday versus Staples. So we got to see if that formula is going to hold up.
What was it about him initially, Coach, that stood out? You said obviously it's the first thing you look for is a guy who can stop the ball. Well, that's obviously easier said than done, especially for a sophomore at the varsity level. He must have had some God-given talents, right? Some quickness. I mean, what are his strengths naturally?
He's got size, size to start. That would be the first thing that jumps out at you. He takes up space, and that's what college coaches are looking for now. The bigger goalie, and then he's got quick hands. And the one thing it was getting down, and now he's able to get down where I wouldn't say if I were to scout him, I don't think going low would be the place to shoot on him now because now he's able to get down quick. So he's able to up high. He's got good hands, stays tall, but he's able to get down. He's able to track the ball down low, track the ball everywhere, but down low he's able to get down there pretty quick without flopping. You see a lot of goalies nowadays, they flop, they go to their knees, but he doesn't have to.
We will see him, as you said, in action against Staples on Saturday with your group, and that's a revenge game for you guys, right?
It is. They certainly we hung with them for a while.
It was last year or 2 years ago?
It was last year. We played them at Bryant. This year we're playing them at Providence. And they lost some guys, but I think they have so many guys that they just kind of I think they do a good job in Connecticut of not losing their guys to the preps. A lot of guys at Darien go to Brunswick, and they go to all the private schools, prep schools down there. So, but they must be keeping their guys. I don't know that much about their program, but they have a lot of guys.
They're good.
They have a lot of guys. Yeah, they have. Yeah. So
that's a Saturday game down there.
Saturday at Providence, 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
Yes.
All right. Coming up, we will switch gears over to the girls' side. Goffstown junior Eva Dimatteus will join us. She's a UNH commit and one of the best players in Division II. That's our final interview of the night. It's on the other side. You are watching FNL Lacrosse, presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Hey, I'm Chad, the owner of New Hampshire iPhone Repair. We're New Hampshire's most trusted and affordable repair shop for your iPhone, iPad, iPod, and even Android needs. Don't worry, we're affordable, reliable, and we back our parts with a lifetime warranty. And you know what the best part is? No, what? We can repair your phone while you wait.
I know, that's why I'm here.
Oh, I know, Mrs. Green. Here's your iPad, good as new. Bring your phone into New Hampshire iPhone Repair today.
The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school varsity and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include tickets and discount cards to hundreds of local businesses. MG Sports now has a digital platform where athletes can raise funds in the comfort and safety of their own home. So become another lacrosse program like Bedford, Goffstown, or Memorial that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Are you thinking of selling your home? Well, now may be the time, given that spring is here, the market is hot, and interest rates remain at all-time lows. It's time to call Roger Howe, a licensed professional realtor with the Bean Group. Not sure what your home is worth? Roger will provide a market analysis for you at no charge. With 12 years experience in residential, commercial, leasing, and investment properties, Roger knows your local market. So contact Roger Howe of the Bean Group today.
Buy local and save big. For over 26 years, Spectrum Monthly has been providing great local offers from businesses in New Hampshire and Massachusetts, delivered to your mailbox every month. Spectrum is chock full of savings from your favorite businesses. From local restaurants and retail stores to entertainment, fitness, and home improvement services. You'll have easy access to thousands of dollars in savings, including exclusive offers for Spectrum readers. Every month, enter our readership contest for a chance at winning cash and local gift certificates. Spectrum Monthly, no one brings you better offers.
Final segment here on FNL Lacrosse. We're presented by the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Nick Anastas, Coach Cameron with you. We remind you, tomorrow night we're on the air with our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Bedford at Exeter. Big matchup on the boys' side between two undefeated teams in Division I. Roger Howe and myself will be on the call. Let's welcome in our final guest, Goffstown junior Eva Dimatteus, on her way to UNH in a couple of years, but handling business at the high school level right now. Eva, welcome in. We appreciate your time. How are you tonight?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you guys so much for having me.
Well, thanks for coming on. It looks like you're in a comfy spot there. Is that the back porch?
Yeah, I just got back from practice and I was really cold outside. It was raining, so I'm glad to be inside now and out of the rain. But
oh, that's probably my favorite room in any house is that back porch. Tell me about the early season here so far. You guys are off to a pretty good start. What are you expecting from your team this season? What are some of the goals?
yeah, so this team, we have a really young, eager team. Honestly, going into the season, I wasn't expecting a lot, but very, very pleasantly surprised. We have a ton of potential. Everyone's super gritty and a really young team, but super coachable with great coaches, and I'm just super excited. I'm really hoping, like, after our first couple of games, we have so much potential, and I just can't wait to see, like, what comes out of this team. So I'm really hoping for the championship, but
wow,
we're just beginning. So we
Love
have
it.
a lot to.
Love it. What's the relationship like between you and the coaching staff? It seems like you've got kind of a player's coach on your hands that has generated a lot of buzz and a lot of energy. You like playing for your coaches, or what's that dynamic looking like?
Yeah, I love playing for my coach Marissa and Coach Green. They're both very knowledgeable of the game. Coach Marissa, she's super young. She just graduated SNHU a couple years ago, so she's just coming out of the game. She's fresh. She's very excited. She's helping the team be very coachable, and everyone's just super excited. Like, everyone's so new, and it's just a great dynamic. Everyone's so positive.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What attracted you to the game originally? How'd you get involved with lacrosse at the beginning?
Yeah, so I have two older sisters who both played lacrosse, and just growing up and watching them, like, I knew I loved the sport. I'd just be on the sideline watching them and wanted to be playing, and it just came really easily for me, just like hand-eye coordination, and yeah, I just wanted to join in.
Who's the best player of the three? Have you caught up to them yet, or are you still a little ways away?
I think we're all pretty evenly matched. My oldest sister, or middle sister, she's very tall, and she was playing for Roger Williams, so we both definitely challenge each other.
Good to have some of those role models in the house.
Yeah.
Right?
So one score that's not up on. How did you do against Exeter? Did you play Exeter? Because the score is not updated.
Yeah, so we going into Exeter, we knew it was going to be a very tough team. They're very talented. We started off a little slow, but we came back in the second half and ended 11-8, I think. So we were only down by 3, which was a really good outcome
Playing
for
up
us.
Division One, that's
very encouraging.
That's a great job scheduling
Yeah.
by Coach Marissa. So tell us, UNH, congratulations. Love seeing some girls
Thank
go
you.
stay local. So tell us what went into that decision, and what are you going to be majoring in there?
Yeah, so obviously when I was looking for colleges, I really wanted to stay in New England. I love to ski. I love the New England weather. I really wanted a challenging program. Obviously, they're Division I, so they're going to be right off the gate. It's going to be tough competition, but that's what I wanted. Going into UNH, I obviously was looking for something with business. I want a really good business program, which they offer. And yeah, I'm just super excited to go there. Like, I love New England. It's only an hour away from my house, so my parents can come watch my games. And that was just a really big thing that I was looking for.
That's always a factor at some level, right?
That's 2 skiers we've had on.
Yeah,
Both stars of the week are skiers.
Besides skiing and lacrosse, obviously, what are some of the other things that you like to keep yourself busy with?
Yeah, I also play soccer, but I pretty much like keep myself busy with like my family and my friends and playing sports pretty much, and also keeping up the good grades.
Oh, to be a teenager again.
Good grades.
All you got to worry about is school and lacrosse. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Finally, your club's got another big week coming up here, right? What are you looking forward to in your next game?
Yeah, so our game was supposed to be today, but it got postponed against John Stark. And they're also a pretty new team coming out. We played them last year. I think we won, and I'm just super excited. I think we have a lot of new players and a new opportunity. We lost a lot of seniors last year who were very, very important roles in our team, but I think we have a lot of new players that are really going to step up this year with a great attitude and a lot of raw talent.
Yeah. Well, keep it going. It sounds like you're off to a good start, and it's a promising season. So good luck this week. Good luck the rest of the way. And ultimately, good luck over at UNH a couple of years from now. We appreciate you coming on, Eva. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eva Dimatteus, a very well-spoken young player there for Goffstown. Obviously, that's seemingly the type of player you'd like to build around, right, if you're Coach Marissa and company?
I mean, you could see high energy. She's highly skilled as well. And then, 11-8 for Segs was pretty good. Playing up a bit. And then the other thing that stood out is that she's playing for a state championship. They're not just so Coach Marissa set some goals and they're a team that we got to watch. They're certainly a team that is going to surprise some people.
Speaking of what to watch, Bedford at Exeter tomorrow night. Again, we're on the air here with our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week at 6:30. We spoke to both head coaches. You can check out those interviews under the video section on our YouTube channel, FNLNH Media. Coach, outside of that matchup, which I think we've talked enough about at this point, what else to watch for this week coming up? Obviously, you guys have a big matchup this weekend against out-of-state Staples down at Providence, but anything else noteworthy here in week number 2?
Portsmouth at BG Girls.
Tomorrow night, 6 o'clock, right?
That's a big one there. And then you have the Exeter-Pinkerton game. So, I mean, those are the marquee games right there.
Couple of measuring
very good
games,
week. I mean, there's going to be a point in time where we're like, geez, didn't the season just start? So in the next week's vacation week.
Always happens.
It always happens that way.
Always goes by quickly. Yeah. All right, I want to thank our sponsors tonight, the New Hampshire Tomahawks, Beals Insurance, MG Sports Marketing, and New Hampshire iPhone Repair, along with Spectrum Marketing and Roger Howe Realty. We appreciate the ongoing support from those companies. And I want to thank our guests as well. First-year head coach for the Bedford Bulldogs, Drew Bordeaux, Matt Brewster, second-year head man at Exeter, BG senior Zach Connerty, and Eva Dimatteus of Goffstown. Reminder, we're back on the air next week. Same time, same place. Monday night, 6 o'clock every week during lacrosse season here from the Beals Insurance Studios. For the man behind the curtain, the Wizard of Replay, our director, Ben Beals, and executive producer, Steve Beals, for Coach Chris Cameron. I'm Nick Anastas saying so long. This has been FNL Lacrosse, presented by Beals Insurance.